As most people know, February is Black History Month in Canada and the United States.
But despite its importance, it wasn't until 1995 that it was officially recognized by Canada's House of Commons.
That's right, Jim. And here at ATW, we want to do our part to promote the rich history of Black Canadians all year round, especially during the month of February.
And today we have a great story for you about the Nathaniel Dett Chorale, which is Canada's first professional ensemble dedicated to Afrocentric music of all styles.
AMI's Special Correspondent Karlene Nation had a chance to visit the chorale at a recent rehearsal and learn more about their history, as well as the history of their namesake, Robert Nathaniel Dett. Enjoy.
The soothing tones of the Nathaniel Dett Chorale have thrilled audiences across Canada for 18 years. As Canada's first professional choir dedicated to Afrocentric music of all styles, they perform classical, spiritual, gospel, jazz, folk, and blues. The 20-member ensemble are classically trained vocalists. They've shared the stage with international artists, opera singers, and performed with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra.
Okay, here we go.
There would be no Nathaniel Dett Chorale without Brainerd Blyden Taylor, the group's founder, conductor, and musical director. He started the ensemble in 1998.
I really wanted to have a choir that gave voice to Afrocentric choral traditions in music, because there wasn't one.
Brainerd named the chorale after Robert Nathaniel Dett, a prominent Canadian composer, organist, pianist, and music professor. While the chorale does perform songs composed by Nathaniel Dett, they do not limit themselves to his catalog.
Over the years, it's been wonderful. So many people have said, who the heck is Nathaniel Dett? And you can say, well, he was a Black man who was born in Niagara Falls, what we now know as Niagara Falls, in 1882. But at the time, it was a small Underground Railroad community. He and his two older brothers were born and raised here. And he went to high school, graduated from high school, and then, I believe, became the first Black man to graduate from Oberlin College in Ohio with first-class honors in piano, organ, and composition. One could call him really one of those quintessential Renaissance men. I wanted, in the formation of this ensemble, to remind Canadians of their musical heritage, their Black heritage.
Karen Scoville has been with the chorale for 15 years.
I didn't have a lot of knowledge about my heritage, about Black history. And so the way in which Brainerd approaches our rehearsals and the performance is very educational. And so learning the different themes that come up in the music and what they mean and how they reference back to the Underground Railroad and the way the chords are built to sound like a train whistle is very impactful. And then to be able to embody that music and share it with an audience who also doesn't have that education is very moving. It's very intangible, it's deep. There's a connection that happens between the ensemble and the audience every time we perform. And it's something that's magical. You know, we're very unique in what we get to do and the performances that we offer.
One of the most memorable moments for the Nathaniel Dett Chorale was in 2009 when they got the opportunity to perform at President Barack Obama's inauguration.
People laughed, they cried, they sang. We stood on the steps of the Canadian Embassy and people just on the other side of the gate kept saying, sing some more, just sing some more. You know, it was remarkable. Our final performance was the tailgate party for Barack and Michelle as they were coming right by, because they walk literally right by the Canadian Embassy. So we were standing on the steps, flanked by the Mounties as he went by, and great big grin on his face, just looking at us. It was very, very special to have been there and to watch history unfolded.
Suddenly you were friends with people you didn't know, and you had found this common bond in unity and hope and love and excitement. It was just the most moving experience. Having not known a lot about Black history and things like that, it had only been a short while for me to really understand the impact of having a Black man be inaugurated into the presidency of the United States. And I found myself weeping when we were watching the jumbo screens. And I found myself unable to sing to my full capacity as he drove by in his car. And we could see him smiling from inside the car. And it was unreal. There's nothing that I've ever felt like it.
It's a neat piece.
Wow, what incredible voices. And you can really feel Brainerd and Karen's passion for the music they perform.
No doubt, performing at President Obama's inauguration was clearly a life-changing moment for both, but you don't have to be the President of the United States to hear them perform.
That's very true. In fact, they have a free concert coming up on Friday, April 7th at Roy Thompson Hall in Toronto, as well as a performance on Palm Sunday at the All Saints Kingsway Anglican Church, where they were rehearsing in the piece on Sunday, April the 9th.
Plus, Brainerd weaves Black history into their performances when he introduces the songs.
For more information, visit NathanielDettChorale.org, and please check out their performances if you can.